Music, dance, theater. It's time to take a seat on the aisle with Tom Alvarez. Hear from performers, producers, presenters, and creators who enrich our lives in the performing arts. Who's on stage? Here is Tom Alvarez to introduce you.
Hello, and welcome to On the Aisle with me, Tom Alvarez. My guest on today's episode is musician Jacob Smith. He's an Indianapolis bassist known for his versatility across multiple genres, including jazz, soul, R&B, funk, salsa, and Afro-Cuban traditions. Join me now as I go on the aisle for a conversation with Jacob. You're listening to Jacob Smith and his combo performing Juana Peña.
Ella era una mujer que a muchos hombres había engañado, pero un día vino un hombre que con un beso la traicionó, y ese hombre nunca había querido, y por ese fue que Juana Peña lloró. Y dicen que los años como la nieve fueron pasando. Ella seguía llorando por ese amor que nunca llegó. Ay, Juana Peña, ahora me llora y ya no te quiero yo.
Welcome to my podcast, Jacob. It's a delight to meet you and to have you spend some time with me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so I was saying before we started recording that I saw an invite that I received from you via Facebook. And in fact, news breaks on Facebook. I have had things break on Facebook before. The New York Times or Associated Press has gotten the word out there. And as far as events, since I cover entertainment, I'm very conscious of whatever comes across the internet and I see in front of me, and the ad that the invite that you sent to me, and I didn't know whether we knew each other or not, but they obviously know I cover entertainment, and that's why I got the invite. So is that why I received it?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of I like to send invites and use them as a means to expose myself a little bit and just kind of take shots.
Okay.
I think it's important to kind of put your name and your image in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah. Well, so you did it very well, because here you are. But okay, let's tell the audience what we're talking about. You are a musician, and talk about the invite.
So that specific invite was for a gig that I have every month on first Thursdays at a place called Burn by Rocky Patel downtown. Mm-hmm. And on the first of every month, what I do is I bring my small group, which I call my small combo or convito. And that's we're playing more stripped down Latin music. So son montuno, cha-cha-cha, boleros, that kind of thing.
What do you mean by stripped down?
So I normally perform with a 10-piece salsa band. And that is what I would consider to be not stripped down, because that's
I see.
Very intense. We have a lot of instruments, that kind of thing. But when we perform with the small group, it's just 4 guys. It's very intimate. It's very different sound, more raw.
And what's the 10-piece group called?
The 10-piece group, we call it the 317 Proyecto Orquesta, which is the business that I run, which is an entertainment business called the 317 Proyecto. And that is the orchestra of that business.
Wow, how come I haven't known about this? So, of course, I'm not an expert in all things Latino, although you may or may know I'm Mexican-American.
Of course.
But I'm kind of late to the game and covering entertainment. And now it's really it's very important to me to do what I can as with this platform and all to educate the community about what's out there in terms of the Latino music history and culture. So, you fit my current passion to do that, especially since I have this platform. So tell me how this all began. How is it that I asked you if you were Latino because I said Jacob Smith. That didn't mean anything. He could have, he could be, he could have Latino blood in him and have a name like that. So I don't like a profile. So let's talk about it. How in the hell did Jacob Smith end up having a salsa band?
So I So yeah, I mean a little bit, just a tiny bit about myself. Yeah, I'm not Latino at all. My parents, my mom's side, we were Polish, and my dad's side, we're German. So I'm not Latino at all. But this kind of all came about through my love of jazz and my passion with jazz. That's what I studied in college, and I have an undergraduate and a master's degree in jazz. I teach at the University of Indianapolis, and jazz has an indelible connection with Latino music.
Excuse me. So, where did you attend college?
I did my undergrad at Ball State and my master's at IU Bloomington.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. IU. Well, there you go. There's your credentials right there.
Yeah, and I think my first exposure with Latino music really came when I started studying jazz, because Brazilian music is very important in jazz literature. We don't talk about jazz without Brazil. And that was kind of my first exposure, was like, man, this music, from South America, it's got this different feel. And then flash forward to when I got in my undergrad, my first actual gig in Indianapolis when I was 19 years old was with a kind of like a Latino variety band. So we played salsa, cumbia, bachata, and merengue. And that was what really exposed me to it. And from there, I started, exploring kind of what I call Afro-Cuban music, which is like music from Cuba, but influenced by, African elements. So that kind of thing. And that's the absolute breeding ground of salsa right there, is Afro-Cuban music.
Back to Brazilian music. What was that attracted to you about Brazilian music as a musician?
I kind of don't really like, how do I say this? Like, I'm not really with the grain when it comes with music. I like to go against the grain a lot. And when I was in high school, I was so infatuated with jazz. I was like that weird kid where like all my friends are like, playing football or doing this or talking about basketball. And I'm like, okay, I want to talk about like jazz. And when I first listened to like Brazilian music, that was
Bossa Nova.
Exactly. Bossa Nova and
Gilberto.
Exactly. Antonio Jobim. Yep.
Jobim.
That music was very different from everything else I had listened to in jazz. Because at that time, I was listening to like Duke Ellington, Count Basie, and stuff like that. And to me, that was a little bit more like, okay, this is a little bit more like my grandpa's music. But then when I hear this bossa nova thing and I hear like jazz guys playing over it.
Okay, well, I'm going to enjoy this because I love Brazilian music.
Okay.
I just absolutely adore Brazilian music. And it uplifts me. It inspires me. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's truly, and I think that Brazilian
culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It captures the culture. It just totally, you listen to that music and you're like, damn, this is like what Brazil is all about. I just get it. Like,
have you been to Brazil?
I want to go so bad.
Oh, I bet you they'd love to have you there. An American doing Brazilian music.
I don't know if I would come back. I don't know if I would come back. I'd probably stay there forever.
Well, with your talent, you could work anywhere. Okay, so go on.
So yeah, I think that, where I grew up in Northwest Indiana. I was exposed
the region.
Yeah. I was exposed to a lot of like Michael Jackson and Motown kind of music. And to me, Brazilian music was like, it just kind of had that edge to it that kind of music had.
That exotic sort of feeling.
Precisely.
You growing up in, where it's a Hammond or Gary.
I actually grew up in Portage.
Okay.
Which is closer to Gary than Hammond. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it took you to a faraway place.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I get it.
It still does today. I mean, I can't listen to any music from Latin America and not think about what it's like in that place.
And I asked you about Brazil. Have you traveled elsewhere in Latin America?
I have. I went to Ecuador this past year a couple times, and that was pretty cool to experience that. I'm planning on doing a really big tour of Latin America through a grant where I could go see a lot of different places.
Okay, not with your group, but you as an artist.
Yeah, myself, just kind of.
That's important, though, right?
It's very important. I think to really get an understanding of what you're doing, you have to go and like immerse yourself in that.
Where did you get this grant from?
I don't have it yet,
Oh, okay.
so I'm gonna apply for it. It's a Indie Arts Council grant, and
Good.
I'm going for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Yeah, they give them out every couple of years.
Yeah, the
All right,
renewal.
sounds like that's a shoe-in.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay, so so IU, and for those my listeners who don't know, the Jacob School of Music is world renowned.
Yep.
And the jazz department, I'm proud to say, one of my proudest achievements was I did a documentary of David Baker.
Oh, come
Well,
on. Absolutely.
and he was a friend, and he introduced me to jazz.
Yeah.
Well, I always loved performing arts in general, but I got hooked on jazz as a result of doing that documentary, and it was really life-changing in a way, and I've been a fan ever since.
He's life-changing. I mean,
Mhm.
I have a connection with David Baker very minutely in that I attended in high school the Jamie Aebersold jazz camps in Kentucky, which he was pretty much like one of the founding fathers of. And when I was young and in high school, I didn't really know who he was, but I remember like when he would walk into the room, this is probably right before he had passed. When he would walk into the room, it was like everybody would look and was like, oh my God. It was like Jesus himself had walked in, and everybody was like, David, can I do anything for you? Can I get this for you? And I remember as a kid, I was like, man, I don't know who this guy is, but I know he's somebody. And then come later, later years, I find out, oh my God, that was David Baker, this guy who wrote all these books that I had been reading forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was crazy to me. And it never clicked in my head that, oh my God, this is that guy.
Well, I can tell you that he was one of the kindest human beings that I ever met.
Yeah.
And he had this gentle, easygoing man. I can only imagine how his students, how they felt about working under his tutelage. And many of them went on to be major players. They were all over the world.
There's so many people that will say the name David Baker, and it's like, what do you mean? Like, this guy had a connection with this guy? And it's just insane how many people knew him.
Well, I had the great privilege of doing this documentary because at the time I was producing and directing at Channel 6. And I was also drawn to telling the stories of Blacks and Latinos because I was the first Latino on TV there. And so I had this great opportunity to use my voice, to share these stories. And when I don't know how I heard about David, but I just remember calling him up and said, hey, man, I'd really love to sit down with you. And so, it was easy as pie. And he was so... And, unfortunately, I know this tape exists, but it's not been digitized. So it's reminded me I need to take care of that.
Yeah.
So I can share it with you.
That's, it's crazy. I look for that stuff too. I just never, when I was at IU, I kind of I was really big into digging. Like I'm kind of
the researcher.
Yeah, I'm like a researcher. And when I was bored, I would go sit at the library. And David, there's a guy from Indianapolis who's a bass player who nobody really knows about him. It was Wes Montgomery's
Of course.
And David was the one who edited his method book, and he was the only one who digitized it.
Well, we have a lot in common, my friend.
Yeah.
And I'm finding this out, but this isn't about me, but I have to insert so that we can relate.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And that is that I also produced a documentary on the Indiana Avenue, the jazz tradition. And there was a broadcaster, an icon, Howard Caldwell, who loved theater and music, and he was the host. Your parents would know who he was, right? And anyway, so I know a lot about Indiana's jazz tradition, and so I don't think that people realize how many famous jazz players came out of Indiana Avenue.
They don't have a clue.
Indiana in general.
They don't have a clue, especially indie. I think indie kind of gets overlooked because we're not as close to Chicago, and everyone thinks, oh, well, anything good goes to Chicago or Detroit.
And and all the amazing groups that played on Indie have now.
Oh,
sure, you've dug into all that, and it's and also vocalists, famous vocalists who showed up in all these clubs, right?
Incredibly famous musicians.
Someone should do a movie, and they should cast you to.
Yeah. Who am I going to be, the club owner?
Yeah, whatever. But the Sunset Room, and I can't remember the names of others.
They had cool names.
Yeah.
They had really cool. There was one club that one of my friends was telling me about the other day. He's like, yeah, it was called the Night Flight. And it was really cool. I was like, that's a cool name.
Yeah, people don't realize, and it all went away because of redevelopment, white flight, and all kinds of stuff.
I know all about that.
Yeah.
I don't know every day.
Yeah, but it was really tragic, and there's very little left, and I wish historic preservation had been important back in those days, so that they kept those buildings. I think one of the only ones really remaining is the Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
That corner building. That cool building.
And the Madam Walker, probably.
Oh, sure. And the Walker, well, of course, the Walker show. I was just there the other night seeing a Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra play with music, Mozart's music, about a black composer. But anyway, I sat in that. When I go to these historic theaters, I feel the presence of all entertainers over the year who played there, and also like the roof at the Indiana Motor Hall.
You can't not. I don't know how anyone can go into a place. I mean, even the Chatterbox, even when I play in there.
And you're playing there.
I'll go into the Chatterbox, and it's like you just look at the pictures on the walls and you hear the stories, and it's like.
You eat it up, I bet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even the Jazz Kitchen before it was the Jazz Kitchen, I mean, now it's starkly different, but sometimes when you see...
Do you play the Jazz Kitchen too?
Yeah, I'm actually playing there tonight on the patio.
I love that. And do you do their salsa nights?
So they do a DJ mostly.
Oh, okay.
Tonight is Latin night, but in the summertime they have bands on the patio. So my small group is playing on the patio tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that so reservations required?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I may show up. So tell me about back to the group. How long have you been together?
So that's a good question. I think if I remember correctly, I started this all in 2022 when I graduated my undergrad. Because I've had several iterations of this group now. But the original group first performed in 2022 because COVID was still kind of like a recent memory enough that we didn't have a lot of Latin music things going on. And at that time, I made it a goal. I was like, I want to have a monthly salsa gig with a live band. So I did that in 2022. So now that's 4 years-ish.
And who's in your band?
Now the core is pretty set.
By the way, what is your instrument?
I play bass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, there's me playing bass, and then I have a vocalist from El Salvador named Giovanni Peraza. He's an amazing singer. I have a conguero from Venezuela playing congas. A timbaleo from Venezuela. I have a lot of Venezuelans in my band. A piano player from Kentucky. He's another IU grad like me, amazing player named Sean McGowan. A trombonist from Venezuela named T. Cleaver. And that's like the real core. And then, depending on if we're doing like all 10 guys or 6 guys, then I'll build it out. I have a couple other guys, that I call trumpet players. We don't have a lot of consistent musicians in Indianapolis for Latin music. So sometimes it's a little hard. It's a little bit of mix.
How did you find these guys?
A lot of it was friends of friends. Like you just, you play a gig with a guy and he says, oh, you ever met this guy before? And he plays congas. And then the conga's like, oh, hey, well, I know this guy who plays timbales. And then they're like, hey, we have this friend who plays trombone,
Why did it take me so long to meet you? Okay, I have to insert myself again, but this is one more thing we have in common. You may or may not know that I'm a producer of a company called Magic the Cabaret.
Yeah, of course.
And there will be the 3rd time in a row we're doing Cabaret Latino, Songs of the Americas, the Hendrix Live.
And I know one of your singers.
And it took us like forever to find Latinos. We have an accordion player, we have a trumpeter, we have a violinist and the conga player. And but I'm going to take the credit. I am Latino, and I believe in supporting my people
It's good.
and artists, especially immigrants. It doesn't matter, but I'm always on the lookout because if I don't discover them, who's going to?
Precisely.
Who's going to care? It's
Exactly.
an afterthought, or I don't know who they are. I don't know where to find them. Well, do some legwork. It sounds like you've done that.
And it's really good that you say that, because that to me is the problem, where like live music is hard for everybody. It's not just hard to perform it. It's hard for the producers to produce it. It's hard for a venue to host live music. You have to do work. You have to listen to recordings of artists. You have to find artists. You have to look on Facebook.
It sounds like you do too. You're a producer. I love discovering talent.
Yeah.
And giving them a showcase. That's why I do this work in media and all the stuff that I do.
Yeah. I'll say that my production is probably a lot more scaled back from what you do. I'm more so like the guy that likes to get his hands dirty and make things happen. Like I like to start events. I'm that kind of producer where I'm like, okay, let's go to this random place and see if we can make Latin music work there. And
that is fabulous. There's such a need for it. And I have to come to this question. Okay, I'm Mexican American, and I'm not fluent in Spanish, although at the age of 78, I'm thrilled to tell you that I live in Hallville now, and I moved there consciously because I have Latino neighbors, and I'm learning Spanish, and I have people to practice with. So finally, I had no more excuses. Well, my parents didn't teach me it. I just sort of felt disconnected from my people.
Yeah.
And but anyway, that's enough about that. But I only tell you that because it's so important to, for the artists, the immigrants who come here, to be able to have these opportunities. And if we can continue to grow the scene, I trust that there'll be a lot of gigs for people. Isn't that what it's all about?
That's
Plus the exposure to the music.
Right. And, the thing that I try to do too is I try to show people that Latino music is very connected to American music or North American music. And they just don't know it because it's been designed to be separated for so long.
Well, but this is why I'm doing Cabaret Latino. I curated all the music.
Yeah.
It's like 14 pieces, and they range from classics, boleros, mariachi. I've got tributes to Selena, Celia Cruz. So I've got Cuban, Puerto Rican. There's an Argentinian tango. All of this music, but it's meant to be a review, and it's meant to be a primer. Latinos are very familiar with this, but I want to, by using Bad Bunny music, he's in it, and what I want to do is help people make the connection that the truth is Latin America has always been a part of American culture.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, for God's sake, sang bossa nova.
Of course. Everybody sang bossa nova.
Yeah. On and on and on and on.
Yeah.
La Bamba, Richie Valens were Mexican American. So I'm an educator at heart. Sounds like you are, And so I think that it's a way to educate, inform, and entertain, but it also helps people, wait a minute, okay, let's think back about what did melting pot mean?
Exactly.
And, hey, folks, this American music you're listening to, there are influences from Germany, Ireland, Latin America,
It's not as black and white as everybody thinks.
We didn't create it. Jazz would probably be something that we did create. I think you'll agree.
Yeah. I would say so, yes, jazz.
As a genre.
Yeah, as a genre, yes.
But it has a lot of influences, too.
Oh, yeah.
From all over the world.
I mean, even when we talk about salsa, right? I mean, salsa is an American creation. Not a lot of people know this.
Yes.
It is an American, the label salsa.
Yes.
And for me being a jazz guy, really listening to these salsa recordings, I'll even go back and I'll listen to some old stuff. And when you listen to these guys, you really hear that.
Who are some of those guys you're referring to?
Willie Colon, Larry Harlow, Hector Lavoe, of course, anyone that was involved with Fania, Angel Canales. But you listen to them and they're influenced in jazz a lot. it wasn't like, I mean, everything in New York City, right? When we talk about any kind of music in New York, it's growing up alongside each other. I have a friend that teaches at IU, and he argues that salsa was actually another form of jazz. It was the Latino version of jazz, but unfortunately, because of the way that record labels work back then, they didn't want to say, oh, this is jazz. They want to say, oh, this is salsa.
With this faculty member, by any chance, he's been on the show, the Brazilian guitarist, and I'm blanking on his name. I'm
Daniel.
Sorry.
Not Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah, not Daniel.
Daniel.
He's great. Daniel Duarte.
Yeah.
I love him. Yeah.
He actually played his guitar in the studio.
That's awesome.
And by the way, I should have had you bring your guitar. You could have played it live. Okay. So go on.
But yeah, like, I think that, like, when we talk about melting pot music and that kind of thing, salsa and Latino music is very much involved. Even cumbia. I mean, when you listen to cumbia, more so from Colombia and Venezuela, there's a lot of jazz elements. They wanted to sound like Duke Ellington back then. If you just even look at photos, I'm a big photo guy too, because I want to see, like, what do these people look like or did look like that are performing this? Or videos. I love videos too. These guys
should make a documentary. Jacob. I mean, really.
Yeah, it would be cool. But yeah, they wanted to be like jazz guys, or they were like kind of in the same vein where they would wear suits and show up, and it was a big band setup, and the singer kind of looked like Frank Sinatra, even though he was not. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so the band you started about 5 years ago, and running this band, you're a one man band. So, but figuratively, literally. So you got to market it. You got to find the bookings. You got to rehearse. You got to do the whole. Is that something you relish, being able to wear all those hats? And is this what you always dream that you get to do, and you're doing it?
I mean, I am kind of like a control freak, admittedly. So, like, I kind of love to, like, I have a hard time working for someone else. I'm not a good worker for
you and me both, brother.
Like, I have a hard time working for other people. When I perform with other people, I feel like I'm just like, man, if it was me doing this, I would do it this way. So I do like.
Did I hear you say you're a control freak?
Yeah.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know what? Any producer worth their snuff is a control freak.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to manage people. You got to keep the vision. You got to all this stuff. And it's artistic control is, I don't think people realize how important that is if you're serious about your music, right?
Exactly. And sometimes that gets misconstrued, I think, when people are like, oh, this guy's just, he's whatever. He's just like crazy. He's demanding.
Yeah, he's a diva, blah, blah, blah.
But I think that the greatest artists of our time have always been, they've had that edge, We don't talk about, like, I don't know, like, name, any artist. I mean, if we're talking about salsa, no one says, oh, Hector Lavoe was a great guy. He was really nice and he bought chocolates in for everybody. This guy was like a demon. He would come in and he'd start yelling at guys. I mean, all these guys would, for a jazz example, Buddy Rich.
I talk about that all the time with artists, It's progress and not perfection, but why not strive for perfection? Because isn't that what the art's all about?
It's what it demands.
Yeah.
The music demands perfection.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I firmly believe in, is that, if you're not performing at your fullest, then what's the point?
Yeah. So, performing live, I've had artists on here too talking about AI.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and the good news is, folks, is that AI will never, ever be able to duplicate live performance. And that's what people should remember. Why live performance? If you go one night to see you at the Chatterbox, you're never going to get that performance again.
Right.
Because it depends on who's playing with you, whatever.
Anything. So many variables. What the weather was like.
It's like fresh flowers. They're wonderful because they only last a short time. But in this case, you like a couple hours and it's gone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so special.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be able to, the whole part about, and this is probably something we also have in common, do you how do you operate as a visionary?
That's a really good question. I like to imagine myself as kind of like the crazy guy visionary who like, I guess, are you asking like in terms of like how I express my art or like?
No, I'm talking more about do you see and hear your gigs? Do you see and hear them?
Absolutely.
You picture them.
I mean,
and then you make them happen.
Yeah.
You manifest.
Yeah.
You manifest?
I absolutely manifest. I'm thinking about the gig days in advance, what I'm going to wear.
Or how many times have you've experienced those in there as you imagine them? And isn't there a high?
Yeah, I mean, it's never going to go exactly how you imagine, right?
Yeah.
But I will try
Right.
though. But a lot of the time, yeah, like it sees through to how I want it.
And then, of course, you got to remember the audience is always different too in a performance.
You never know. You never know how many people or who's going to show up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think having a strong vision is important, being able to sit there and say like, okay, this is what I want this to look like. I want
to work with actors, musicians, singers, whatever, and those who can take your direction and they express your vision.
Yeah.
And do you allow them creativity, or are you a my way or the highway kind of guy?
Creativity is like ingrained in who I am because I do jazz. I actually don't want the song to sound just like the recording. Mm-hmm. I hate that. I'm so against, because what's the point?
Like covering?
I wouldn't say covering, because everything you do is technically a cover, right? But I think that like people that just sit there and say, okay, I learned the song like the recording, so I'm going to sit there and play the same way.
Gotcha.
I'm going to play the drums the same way, the trombone the same way. It's like, no, man. Give me
some little more. Give me yourself.
Right, because when these guys were playing gigs, they weren't playing it just like the record back in the day. The artists, Willie Colon and all these guys.
It's improvised.
It's improvised. They were stretching, they were having fun. They were loosening up. Maybe, someone had a little bit.
People who don't like jazz, that's what that makes them uncomfortable, the improv.
Right. Yeah.
They need to know that it sounds like what they've been listening to. Well, if you deviate from that, it upsets the apple cart for some reason.
I mean, here's an interesting thing, man, about Latino music, unfortunately, is that I feel that Latino music is kind of suffering from a lot of people that are in this artistic dance mode. Mm. And it's kind of more like they don't teach people how to dance with music. They teach them how to dance to a recording.
Uh-huh.
And I really hate that, because a lot of people's exposure to Latino music ends up being like at a dance class somewhere.
Gotcha.
And then they
Dancing with the Stars.
That is, I say that analogy so many times and no one ever knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is. It's like they, and then they come out to hear me and they're like, oh, well, this is cool, but why don't you guys just play it like the recording so we can do all our turns in time, And it's like, man, you get a real Latino down here who knows what he's doing, he's going to tear it up, man.
Follow the beat, man.
Follow the beat. I feel the music, man. Yeah.
Oh,
that's when I'm goodness. Like, I'm talking to my own people, like, come on, gringo, come on, keep it up, man.
So let's talk about cultural appropriation.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So
here we go.
Well, but yeah, it's important, though, to talk about it. I'm in a unique position again, but I was brought up in two worlds.
Yeah, of course.
Grew up in a Latino household. I carry history, the culture, the music, the food. I just don't speak the language, but my parents did the best they could at the time. They thought they were protecting me, and it was a survival. They didn't want me to face the poverty and discrimination that they had living in San Antonio, Texas. So they were migrant workers, and we ended up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, of all places. You can't get more white bread than that. But I grew up in those two cultures.
Yeah.
And so I have a deep understanding of I was informed by living amongst whites most of my life, and it wasn't until I got to theater in college that the world opened up, and I began my quest to reclaim my identity. But having said that, what I've learned along the way is you don't have to be Latino, an artist or an actor, whatever, to be able to communicate and express the culture,
Right.
and be respectful of it. And so, yeah, and now on stages, you see black actors playing roles that used to be white, right? So we now know that I think the public is being educated more and more open about you don't have to it's you can still be respectful and it's not taking advantage or of someone else's culture,
Right.
your own financial means or whatever.
Precisely.
It's still tricky though, right? And so how do you struggle? Have you had a struggle? Have you ever had, hey man, who do you think you are? You're white as can be, and you come from your parents, your family's from Germany. What do you get off trying to play our music? Have you ever gotten that?
I've actually never had anyone say that,
Good.
which I think is kind of testament that Latinos in general are very they get excited when you show interest in their culture.
Absolutely.
And their music and their food and that kind of thing. And, even when I went down to Ecuador, I experienced that a lot where people were really cool and nice with me and polite,
They're honored.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't people that think that.
Yeah.
But what sets me apart,
Yeah.
I think what sets me apart is that people see that this isn't just like me being like Ricky Ricardo for an hour or two at night. I'm not going up there and putting on the Ricky Ricardo show and then saying, okay, well, I'm not, I don't put on an image like, hey, I actually am Latino or whatever, like something stupid.
Yeah, something comes to mind about generalizing, It's so funny. I get well, you don't look like a Mexican. It's like,
Right.
what does a Mexican look like?
Yeah.
You could be Mexican. You could be
I could be
light skinned.
I could be Cuban. I could be Brazilian. I could be anything.
I know. Well, the point is,
I know what you mean.
It's
I agree.
You could communicate that music because it's in your soul.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
It's embedded in there. And you weren't born into it, but you can. Right?
And it's about the intention. One of my biggest idols is a guy named Larry Harlow, who is a Jewish-born, very super white guy piano player from New York City. But he led one of the most famous salsa bands for years. And several other very white Jewish guys like him were also very famous band leaders. And that's why I don't really trip about it so much. It's not about that. It's not, it's about loving something and bringing it into you. Like you said, your soul. You study it and you feel welcome by it. I mean, I hang out with Latinos all the time. I go to Latino clubs.
How's your Spanish? You working on it?
Yeah, I'm getting better. Yeah.
So tell me about your audiences. Who shows up to see your concerts?
A lot of Latinos.
Yeah.
But I do
like
get
that.
I do get a lot of non-Latinos too that know me from jazz that are interested and they come through and see it. And that's my goal is I want to expose them to this music too.
So tell me about these. Let's talk about the venues. I've been trying to get David Andrzejczyk on the show forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he's such a busy guy and he's scattered in all directions. But I see him. I saw him the other night at the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra. Steve Hackman. Are you familiar with Steve? Yeah. Brilliant. Of course. Brilliant composer, musician. He does everything. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But David was there, and, I often see David at theater events and all kinds of stuff. And so, he is informed. He's so highly educated about the arts in general, a big supporter. And like you said, the Jazz Kitchen, it's hallowed. It's hallowed ground.
Yeah.
And I've not been there as a regular, but I know when I've been there that I'm so grateful we have that venue. And when they were threatened recently by the troublemakers, we'll put it that way, who showed up, political activists, I shall call them. Thank God he got through that. And what we found out is the people who had his back and his supporters came through, and it just sort of faded away. Thank God.
Yeah.
But you talked about, the atmosphere of the place, but what's it like playing in that little stage in that particular club?
It's raw. I mean, it's not like playing at the Symphony Orchestra Hall.
What's raw mean? What does that mean?
I mean, I'm this close to. If I'm on stage, if you're sitting in the front row, this is how close we are.
Yeah.
You could, touch me if you wanted to.
That's why I love cabaret.
Right.
It's in your face.
It's in your face. You're hiding nothing.
Yep.
There's nothing to hide. It's raw. It's gritty. The place itself has kind of that edge to it. I mean, it's like, it's real,
Aren't you glad as a musician that you're not covered in smoke though?
Well, I think that's kind of a vibe too. I don't know.
Well, you're at the cigar.
Yeah,
I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so go on.
But yeah, I mean, that's like, it's raw, and I think places like that, that's like the human experience. It's a very different vibe when you go see the symphony and you got all the women with their fur coats on and it's very up, suit time and that kind of thing. But man, when you go to like a place like the Chatterbox, it's like, this is real.
Well, just as an aside, the Indianapolis Symphony is trying to change that image that you just described, because now I'm beginning to see guys in cargo shorts at the symphony. Well, mostly pops, but
pops.
I hear you. But that's the boomers. They're all dying off.
Yeah,
so we need people your age to start showing up and keeping that music alive, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what you're saying.
But yeah, I mean, that's like, to me, when you go to a place like that, the Chatterbox, that's where you're seeing like real music. Mm-hmm. You're seeing, it's not a predetermined show. It's just like guys getting together and making music off the cuff.
Okay, so tell me about Rocky Patel. I've heard that name, but I don't know much about him or that club.
Yeah, I think he's like a big cigar guy that lives like who knows where. He has
that name Indian? Is he of descent? Okay.
I guess so.
Is he an immigrant?
I don't know much about him. I've never met him.
Oh,
like
okay.
He lists a chain. The burn is a chain. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which it's interesting. They don't have it in Chicago, so it's kind of cool.
This is the mall downtown, the former mall.
Yeah, it's like on the outside of it,
the corner.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But
that's where I've seen the name.
Yeah, it's a cool joint.
Yeah,
it's a cool spot.
There used to be a martini place downtown near the Circle. Is that still there? They used to do jazz there. Downstairs, you probably
not. Probably before me.
Yeah, it was a cigar lounge.
I wish we had that.
Yeah, martini glass is their logo.
Okay.
With an olive in it.
Yeah. No, we don't have many jazz venues left.
Okay. So tell me about the venue. How long have you been?
This is month 3.
Okay.
So this is like our 3rd month doing it. So the reason we got that gig was the general manager was a Latino guy. His name is Julio Galvin.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, he's gone now. He's not at the business anymore. He just left.
Is he still around?
He's still around.
Okay. Is he a promoter or something?
I think he's getting back into the restaurant business. I heard.
All right. That's how I know that name.
So like an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But yeah, he heard us and he was like, oh, I would really love to bring like Latino music to this place, because obviously like cigars and, Latino music, you get Havana, Cuba images right away. So that was how that came about.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many does it seat?
Probably like 75, 80.
Okay.
Closer to.
So if you want the old days of smoking, you'll get plenty of sterling smoke.
I've gotten a lot of it. Let me tell you. My car is like, after we're done with the gig, I have to like roll the windows down, and then the gear stays smoky forever. Yeah.
Well, I'm conflicted about that, because I want everybody to be healthy. And I used to be a smoker. I gave it up at the age of 35. But I remember those days when it was omnipresent or ubiquitous, right?
Yeah.
And it always the reason I was drawn as a kid is I watched movies.
Come on.
Glamorous.
Absolutely. I mean, even as a musician,
jazz clubs in the movies.
Absolutely.
That's one of the reasons I got into cabaret, because I had these images, black, white movies of, small nightclubs.
Right.
People being glamorous and sophisticated and all that.
And the saxophone player sitting up there with a cigarette, taking a draw while they
and sound. All those images.
Yep.
It's very romantic.
It is very romantic. And that's the thing, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so the jazz club, very cool, famous, history, lots of history there.
Yeah. I mean, that place is just like, there's been so many great musicians there.
Yeah. Are you familiar? Of course you are. You probably know. And his band played with one of our productions of Gallery Latino a couple years ago, Athenaeum, Pavel.
Yeah, of course.
And Direct Connection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was interesting. He had some Latinos in that group, but most of them were very famous people. Dixon, Rob Dixon,
of course.
Steve, Ellie, and
Yeah.
the conga player. I think you probably worked with him. He's from Latin America.
Yeah, I think it was probably Gerardo at that time.
Yeah, Gerardo. Yeah. But last time I was there, I happened to see Ann Hampton Calloway in concert there.
Okay.
She also did a fundraiser for us recently. And she played with Sean Baker.
Oh, nice.
His trio. So you all know each other.
Yeah, I know Sean. Yeah, I know Sean.
Yeah, we have covering the arts as I do, I'm always bragging on the show because hopefully for listeners that we really have a vibrant arts community here. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Across the board.
Absolutely. Everything.
Theater, music, dance.
Yeah.
We cover it all.
Yeah, we have a lot.
World-class symphony orchestra, opera company.
Yeah.
If you measure your arts community by, the big time genres, ballet, modern dance kaleidoscope, and all. The theater scene here, I don't think that people realize. And also on a national level, would you agree too that it's really an entertainment hub now with the symphony and Allied Solutions, Performing Art, Palladium.
Yeah, the venues.
And then you've got Clues is becoming more competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on here.
There's a ton.
But there's a place for what you do too. Yeah. We have this burgeoning Latino community. And people who love Latino music, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel that the timing is just right for you?
I think so. I think the timing is definitely right. I will say though, like it is a little hard sometimes because, the cost up front for doing a salsa band is a lot more substantial. And it's hard to really achieve that music. That's mostly what people call me for, right? They want salsa band because that's what most people understand and connect with.
What's involved the cost? I know, but tell our listeners.
The biggest amount in the cost is just the time of the musicians. We're talking 10 guys for 2 hours of a show. I mean, that's not going to be...
Paid them, there's a term, I know it, because I pay our musicians. There's a set kind of in industry, which is called a...
like a guarantee?
Yeah, well, no, there's a term for it's a set, there is a term that's... Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's like you pay for a gig and rehearsal and the performance, the time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. You're paying for that too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing that's a little hard for me to kind of articulate sometimes with venues is like, okay, well, understand it's not just 4 guys.
People are just trying to get musicians on the cheap.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Please.
Actors too, though.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're always the first ones to get, nickel and dime.
Yeah, and there's that whole thing about value. This isn't a hobby, folks.
Right. No, this is life.
This is how I feed my family.
Yeah.
How I put gas in my car to get here to play for you.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that because for a lot of Latino musicians, that's not the case for them, unfortunately. Like they're, it's hard being a musician in any city. It's really hard being a Latino salsa musician in a city.
But more across the board, though, we have equity actors here, but they can't perform community theater or do anything else. There's special contracts, and I suspect with musicians, professional musicians, there's a union, right?
No.
There's no. I'm sorry, I thought there was.
There was.
Musicians union.
There is kind of, but I mean, the unions are a ghost of what they were,
That's sad to hear.
It's very unfortunate.
For musicians, especially because you're held captive by these promoters who don't want to pay you.
Not even just the promoters, the venue itself,
Yeah, there you go.
Just a venue owner who will come in and, nickel and dime you down. And I've had, there's Mexican restaurants that have called me and they've just nickel and dime me down to nothing. At a certain point, I'm like, look, man, this isn't even worth my time. I can't, I just can't. I can't do this.
Do you play Mexican restaurants?
Yeah.
Where? Which ones?
We played most recently at a place called Terra Mar, out on the east side, in Lawrence-ish on Pendleton Pike. It's a big one. We've played at a place called La Esquina in Fountain Square. El Toro, we've played at several of the El Toro chains. Couple places like that, yeah.
Mhm.
You know, we don't have a lot of like South American restaurants here. So like a lot of the time it's just like at a Mexican restaurant.
Mm-hmm. So how are you with press? Do you get press?
Not really, no.
No.
Yeah. I don't really have connections like that.
Yeah. What do you do now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard that, talking about like
Well,
being an
I
outsider.
don't mean that to sound obnoxious.
No, but I agree.
You know, I, as a producer, I know how important it is. Marketing is,
Right.
The fact that you do your own social media and graphic design.
It's hard.
It's very hard to get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do know, like, so I do know, like, who you are from Facebook. I've seen, like, things that you post and stuff like that.
I'm on social media all the time.
But
It's not as if it's free either. I spend a lot of time on there.
exactly. And the thing that I really relate to a lot with you is, like, this thing about being, like, an outsider. That's kind of for me sometimes the thing, right? With getting press, I'm not a Latino. So
Right.
I'm very difficult for people to promote probably because I'm not a Latino. I don't have a name that would pass as Latino. So it's like, okay, how do we market or even like just interview somebody?
Well, that's the reason I brought you in here, because I was intrigued. Who is this white guy
Yeah.
who's doing Latino music? Tell me about what is it that inspired. I think that's just the coolest story of all.
Yeah.
You know?
I appreciate you thinking that.
No, well, but again, for me, it's my job is to inform the public of what's available.
Yeah.
And what's really important to me is that art that's accessible too.
Yeah.
So that like places like the Chatterbox, do they do a cover charge?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it typically?
Weekends it's $9.
Well, that's nothing.
Nothing.
That's a drink.
That's nothing.
Yeah. Now, how about Jazz Kitchen?
They're a little bit more expensive now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you're going on like Latin night, it's like a $10 cover.
That's no big deal.
But if you're going to buy tickets, that's a different story.
Ah,
A ticketed show is a lot more.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for a Latin night, you know what? You get $10. They go from 6 to 2 in the morning,
Well, let me ask you this. A lot of folks, I was starting to say, a lot of people are pros and they're able to make a living, but they're far and in between.
Right.
Artists who don't have to have a day job. Well, that's even the same in New York and Chicago and everywhere.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to fall back on something. What about you?
So, like I said, I teach at the University of Indianapolis, but I'm only adjunct. So that's definitely not enough to make a living off of. The other thing that I do is I work at an event center really close to here called McGowan Hall.
Not familiar with it.
It's an old Knights of Columbus building. It's not Knights of Columbus anymore. But actually, there's a theater company based in
Oh, sure. You're talking about, I just went by there the other day and wondered, I've got to go, Claude McNeil's Productions.
Claude McNeil Productions, yes.
He was, started American Cabaret Theater.
Yes, he did.
Familiar with him.
Yeah. He just had his 90th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was there on Saturday. And we
And
had a
they're
party.
still producing.
Yeah, and that's where I work. I run the building itself.
Oh, and for those who don't know, Knights of Columbus is a Catholic,
Yeah,
Catholic, what do you call it?
like a fraternity. Yeah.
fraternity.
Yeah. So yeah,
What's it like in there? What is it? They have a theater?
so we have a really big ballroom that is slowly being retrofitted into a theater.
Oh, cool.
Actually, so it's funny you mentioned this, but one of the clients that I have booked for doing a fall show with us is Dance Kaleidoscope. I'm really excited that I got them. See, I work at this event center booking like weddings and stuff, but for me, I'm trying to get more performing arts at the place.
Well, heck, we don't have a home. Magic Thread Cabaret is an experience. We're not a place.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that
Is
as
there
well.
room for a cabaret in there?
Well, we have a downstairs bar that would be perfect for a cabaret.
How many is the seat?
It seats 50. It's very
okay.
intimate. It's small, but
Well, maybe we could talk.
I would love to. I mean, I actually booked a cabaret show in there next month with Claude McNeil Productions.
We used to book up at when we did Caesars. We were up at the Cat, And we had the Cat. It's a freestanding building. It's like a little performing arts center. It's a French Bastille Theater downtown.
Okay.
It's anybody who doesn't have a home, rent our space, and they have a theater.
That's cool.
It's like 50 to 100 seats. I don't remember. Not bad. Yeah. So, yeah, that's typically what we like to play, those kind of places. Well, it's good to know. There's another resource.
Yeah.
So that's your gig, that you're besides University of
That's my side gig. I consider that I will never consider my day things my main gig.
Yeah.
Music will always be my main thing.
But University of Indianapolis is where you get to pass on, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I do teach. I teach individual lessons. I teach ensembles, and I teach an online course.
How do you like being a teacher?
I like teaching college a lot more than I like teaching kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of a little bit of an intense teacher, so I kind of think that for me, like doing that is a lot better for me.
I love that. You've been called intense.
Yeah.
I've been called intense.
Yeah.
My business partner, I love telling the story. We get into fights once in a while because we've been together for 10 years. Artistic agreement, disagreement, personality clashes. But when we make art together, it's magic.
And that's the thing that's good. You have to have a little tension.
Oh,
it's all about personality.
He's 30 years younger than I. And, we tell people this all the time. My frame of reference is so different than his.
Right.
Where the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
But anyway, I say that only because what am I getting to? But we, the collaboration is magical.
Right.
But I was going somewhere with that. I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, so, but teaching, teaching what I do, I consider, I'm an educator at heart.
Okay.
Passing it on.
Yeah.
I just had someone in this chair a couple weeks ago. We were talking about how important it is to mentor.
Yeah.
That's so teaching though, is it rewarding for you to see your students then go on and be successful?
It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Those moments when you hear them reflecting the things that you taught them or you've been harping on them for weeks, when they just like get it, you're like, okay, now I know what this is all about.
Yeah.
That's the reminder.
Yeah. So what is your advice to anybody listening, either a student or a parent, about why becoming a professional musician is a worthwhile pursuit?
It's the ultimate expression of the human self. It's like you're going up there and laying bare for everyone to see who you are and what you do. I mean, that's what it's so rewarding, because then when you see people interact with you and start clapping and cheering and they love this thing that you're presenting from yourself, I mean, that's it for me. I feel like that's more
connection.
That's what life's all about. You know what I mean? Just like that moment, expressing yourself and people loving it.
Yeah, I don't think that people who have never performed, they understand, the connection that I'm talking to. We call Magic Thread Cabaret, by the way. It's Michael Feinstein. We stole it from him. It's the mystical connection between the singer and the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that magic thread.
Yeah.
Exists. It's mystical.
Everybody talks about that, even musicians.
Yeah.
There's,
like every audience is different. Like, oh God, they're all dead out there.
Oh yeah. Well, and that happens, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not always going to be, and that's when you adjust. I mean, for me, I'm really good at reading out an audience. If we're playing the Chatterbox and like we're playing some of these salsa songs, I'm just kind of realizing, okay, it's not a lot of Latinos tonight. I'll adjust. I'll say, okay, guys, let's do, this song. Let's do like a jazz tune. And then we'll take a long solo and I'll let the conga player go crazy. And then people come to life all of a sudden again. I'm like, okay, there we go.
What are some of your favorite pieces? I'm sure it's a hard question to answer.
That's a really hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I guess you could break it down to, which country you're talking about.
Yeah.
Tyler.
So like if I'm talking about like salsa, like probably one of my favorite salsa songs is El Cantante by Hector Lavoe. And the reason I like that song a lot is because it's a story that for me is very relatable. It's like the lyrics are talking about like, okay, I'm the singer and I sing for good times and bad times, and people are like, okay, come on, singer, sing, you know, that kind of thing. And that's kind of like really relatable to me because it's like, you know, I perform no matter if it's a good time or a bad time. You have to. My job is to entertain the audience. That's a great song. I really like, you know, from Brazil, there's a beautiful song called Favela, which is a Joe Beam song. And I'm actually working on, you know, writing we're recording right now.
Do a lot of bossa nova?
I do.
Oh,
I love bossa nova.
are you and me, boy?
But I actually took that song and I've turned it into a salsa. And I'm getting ready to release it soon.
You know, help me with this because I can't pinpoint it, but where did that come from? Is it in the culture? Was it developed by a musician, a composer? The yearning and the melancholy,
Like the lyric?
Found, yeah, in bossa nova.
This is kind of a bigger thing. I seriously think that one of the big things about Latino music in general from South America is that it's very like music for the common man. You know, the themes in Latino music are always very relatable to life. I mean, in Brazilian music, like, for example, favela, the lyrics are like, okay, living in the favela, the people don't really get represented well. Another song, Agua de beber, water to drink. It's literally like, oh, you know, we want clean water, that kind of thing. Waters of Brazil is like celebrating the culture and the country and the music.
And then there's that vibrant, joyful music, sunny beaches.
Right, you know, and then we have Girl from Ipanema, which is like longing, you know, oh, I saw this girl, she's so beautiful.
Yearning, but longing, same thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
What about the melancholy? There's a sweet sadness. I'm a critic too.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I hear a sweet sadness too.
I mean, no one's going to sit here and say that Latin America has been treated the same as other countries, you know? And I think that inherently people from Latin America recognize that, you know, in their music and in their art, and that, you know, they haven't had the same rap that everyone else has, especially being so close to a country like ours. You would think that it would be in a much different place.
Yeah.
Especially in Brazil. They had a lot of struggles in that country. I mean,
again, yeah, there's that. But when I talk about the melancholy, the sweet sadness, there's a nostalgia.
Absolutely.
Attached to it, a missing.
It's like the old days.
Yeah.
I think that they probably they wish for the old days when things were a little bit better.
Yeah. You talk about this, there's the same kind of expression in ranchera music.
Yep.
And my parents they came from Texas, Tex-Mex, and yeah, of course, and then Tejano music, that's a whole other thing, part of my background. But many Mexicans who love that music, ranchera, it's ranch, farm,
it's
country,
vaquero music.
It's like country music.
Exactly.
That's why they love country music.
And corrido is the same thing.
Yeah, and now, you know, country music and there's so many commonalities, but you know, the themes of that working class people and all those things, stories about love and heartbreak, love and getting drunk and whatever, you know, being cheated on, same thing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. I know a lot about ranchera music because I hear a lot of ranchera music, and I have never gone to a place and heard a ranchera song come on and everyone just be like, oh, whatever. Whenever that music comes on, man, everyone goes crazy.
Speaking of, have you ever played Coco Bono? Coco something?
Coco Bongo? I've never played there.
Yeah, plenty of room for a band like that.
Yeah, I do know about that place. I've heard about it a lot.
Well,
I've not played it.
Mariachi music and banda.
Yeah, bandas, norteña and banda are starting to get pretty big in India.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a lot of that now.
Yeah, well, I find it fascinating, the immigrant community from all these Latin American countries, you know. Down the street, I'm becoming close to a family. He's Mexican, or she's Mexican, and he's from Nicaragua.
Okay.
And I have neighbors across the street. He's from Mexico City, and she's from Mexico City. He's from Guerrero.
Okay.
And I meet all of these Latinos from all over Oaxaca, Michoacan, Jalisco. I love it because when I moved here, there were 10 of us. We all knew each other. And now it blows my mind when I am sitting at a corner, lights changing, and I hear norteño music blaring hard next to me. And, it's very exciting because, what you're doing, though, is you're also promoting music that just adds to the fabric of the city. Yeah, we call ourselves world class, right? If we're really world class, we would represent
everything. Yeah, I agree.
And all of its wonderful, wonderful music. I mean, so I think it's great what you're doing, and I'm happy that you came on to spend some time to talk about it. So how can people find you?
I'm Facebook, Instagram. My Facebook is Jacob Smith, of course. My Instagram is @JakeJazzBass. That's where I'm at. I pretty much live on there for promoting myself. I got a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, of course, Jacob Smith Music. I have a website, jacobsmithmusic.com. And yeah, I would love to connect.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to hear you guys.
Thank you.
And so thank you again for coming on and spending time with me. And I'll see you on the aisle.
Amor, la vida no es posible para mí.
Let's close the show with Jacob and his combo performing Sin Ti.
Estas cosas son las que yo extraño. Tu sonrisa, tu cabello, esas cosas que veo en mis sueños. Sin ti, amor, la vida no es posible para mí. Sin ti, amor, la vida no es posible para mí.
Our thanks go out to our media sponsor, Urban Times. Urban Times is a monthly news magazine which serves as the official newsletter for 15 Indianapolis neighborhoods, offering news about development, arts and entertainment, and from the business community. Thank you for joining me on the aisle. Please subscribe to my podcast, and if you want to hear previous episodes, find them on the All Indiana Podcast Network, or listen to them wherever you get your podcasts. This is Tom Alvarez.
Who will take center stage on the podcast next? Your seat on the aisle with Tom Alvarez awaits. Follow Tom on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and make sure to visit tomalvarez.studio. Watch Tom every other Thursday on Lifestyle Live on Wish TV, and make sure to listen every week here on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app, bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecasts, radar, and Indiana sports, all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.